The Business Journal Roundtable Series is sponsored by iSynergy, creative digital advertising.
Well, let's move to the fun one, artificial intelligence. Are you using artificial intelligence in creating content?
Yes.
You are. All right, Jeff, tell us, how does it work?
Two areas. Copywriting, most definitively, have found that it's not about writing a finished article or ad, but for example, it can really help organize your content, can bring things, it just accelerates the process. So I just finished a project, it probably would normally take me 10 hours to write. I think it took 4.5. So again, the final product wasn't, I wouldn't call it written by AI, but it helped me get there a lot faster. So I don't know if that's, and then the visual end, we're starting to do that, obviously with things in Create, we're still more exploring and there's issues, but we're starting to use some also, AI generated visuals. Again, it may not be the final thing we produce, but it's gonna accelerate the process. Does that jive with everyone else's experience?
We found that it's useful also, I think with Jeff, I think from a volume standpoint, when you need a lot,
Sure.
It's gonna shoot out a lot. Now, that you don't wanna automatically believe what it says is correct. I found that out the hard way. And, so certainly when you've got to write a long thing, but, I've got 3 apps on my phone now that I purchased. We've been using aspects of it from, you want to use it for customer relationship management, the used to have just a chat feature on websites, but is it better to have a chat feature that's connected to AI so that you could get questions answered right there? You don't have to have somebody live waiting. So that's something we've been doing for a couple years, but that's been available. It's not something we invented or created. And now I'd say more like Jeff says, you experiment with it from a copywriting standpoint. But like an old teacher I had used to say, just because you own a typewriter doesn't mean you're a good writer. And so, that's a situation. People, even if you have AI, how do you recognize what's good and what isn't? That doesn't give you the talent to recognize what's good or what isn't, or what you should be saying or what you shouldn't. So there's still going to be judgment involved. I'm not worried about it coming. I think it's a tool, and just like every other tool that's come before it.
It's another resource. It's another tool in your toolbox. I think it helps, especially as a copywriter, when you need to do a ton of research on a subject, and even as a journalist, you got to get up to speed on this subject really fast and able to be write competently about it. You can use that instead of reading through tons of things. It just sort of helps aggregate okay, I'm on the right track, but I still have to take my branding and I still have to take my SEO and I still got to take all my other things and create original copy. But I think it gives me a good starting point, I feel in order to get me up to speed quickly. And we've used the regenerative tool in Photoshop as well for design. We use it a lot to edit photos. It sort of helps regenerate backgrounds and change some things. We've had clients also use the AI headshots, but we've gotten some weird things back, an arm's not in the right spot. Yeah. They gave them weird colored hair. I've seen some weird things happen, so it's definitely not there, but you get 50 headshots for, I don't know, $100 or something. Right. I don't know what it costs. But out of that, you maybe only have a couple that you actually would want to use. So I don't know how beneficial that really is when you could hire.
But I think image generation, though, is probably the biggest ethical question right now, because, sure. Just the other day, for the hell of it, I said, I asked it to create Elvis on a motorcycle. Now, clearly, and I don't know why I thought that, but I did, I looked at it, and it's not Elvis Presley, but at a glance, 60%, 50% people think it is Elvis Presley. So that's if you use that in ad, should you pay Elvis's estate for that? That's the big question. Because you could get close enough, but not be in a real image of a celebrity or a copyrighted image, and right now you get away with it.
A key is understanding how to write the queries. That's basically where you're at on the copywriting, what you're asking it to do. So I'm sure some of your business owners, can I use? Yes, they definitely can. But the technical term is query engineering, which is a little overstated, but it's the idea that how you write the queries, how you interact with, whatever form of the AI you're using, ChatGPT, whatever it is. And so that's one thing we're trying to get better at. So that's where the marketer still comes in. How you ask the questions, then it gives you something, and then you ask it again, or you request it to do something. And so it's a process, and we're still learning it, but yeah, I'm finding it's a fantastic tool.
Yeah.
You charge clients less because it's taking you less time.
Exactly. And I think that, as a marketer, we obviously can't be experts in every industry that we work in, and we also can't rely 100% on the client to give us that knowledge that's in their head. So I think it's super helpful, especially in maybe like a B2B business where, you might be writing a blog or a piece of content about something that's kind of technical and you don't know, it's a little bit harder to understand. I think it's a very helpful tool as a starting point, like you said, to kind of get that background knowledge in a simplified way, and then you can kind of take it, create the content, then go back to the client and say, is this accurate? Is this correct? And I think that's super helpful, just to kind of sift through all the info that's on the internet. You can kind of get it in a simplified way to start off.
I agree. From a factual and a grammatical point of view, AI is amazing, right? Like they're going to put that comma in where it needs to be. Everything's going to be right. But like Adrian was saying, from a branding or like a hyper-local point of view, it's not going to capture that opinion or that emotion that the market might need in that regard. But it definitely has a place.
That's where it lacks right now with copy. Is it doesn't have an opinion. It can't give you the brand. It can't get that across.
The Business Journal Roundtable Series is sponsored by iSynergy, creative digital advertising.